to Sunday school. How's everybody doing?
Howdy. I'm
Oh,
good.
hi. Good to see you on here today, Joy.
You too, teacher.
All right. So first things first, kids, we're going to do our memory verse.
All right.
Are you ready, Joy?
Yeah, I wonder if these kids got it down yet.
I sure hope so. So it's Galatians 3:29.
Galatians 3:29.
When you belong to Jesus,
When you belong to Jesus,
you get his promises of his family.
you get his promises of his family.
Amen. All right. Good job. So today we're going to be going over what we've been learning. We've been learning about Joshua. So today's going to be really fun. We're going to get our paper and our crayons, and we're going to do some arts and crafts. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
So, first things first, we're going to color Joshua, and we're going to make Rahab stand in there too, and then we're going to draw the walls of Jericho when they marched around and they crushed down to the ground and they was able to get in. So we're going to draw those buildings. So we're going to draw Joshua and Rahab. And if you guys want to draw some more Israelites, you can.
There's a lot of Israelites.
There was a lot of Israelites, huh?
Yeah.
So kids, while we're coloring, let's think about what we've been learning. So far, when we first learned about Joshua, we learned about him when Moses was still in charge, and he sent out those 12 spies to Jericho. And they came back, and none of them believed that God could give them this land because there was these big, giant people, and it was really scary. The only one that believed him was Joshua and Caleb. So because they didn't believe, they wandered around the wilderness for another 40 years. Right?
How many years?
40 years.
Oh my goodness.
It's a long time, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long time to walk around in the wilderness. And then we learned after that, 40 years later, Joshua was in charge, and he sent out some more spies to the land. And these spies went, and they went into land, and they spied it out. And this lady, her name was Rahab. Remember we learned about Rahab?
Yeah.
She was really nice. The cops was coming, so she took the spies and she hid them inside her home. Because she knew that God sent them, and she believed God. So because she believed God, it caused her to act. Because when we believe God, it causes us to do stuff for him, right? Because when we believe something, that's when we start to do, right? It's like, I believe that my car has to have gas in it to go. So because I believe that, I drive my car to the gas station and I put the gas in the car, and then I could drive. So because Rahab believed God, she hid these spies, and she knew that these spies were sent from God, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she hid the spies, and the spies told her, if you put this red rope to your window, we'll know it's you. And when we come and take over Jericho, you won't be hurt. And you and your family, as long as you guys are inside behind this red rope in your home, you guys will all be safe. And we remember, kids, that showed us a picture of the Passover with the blood on the door, and they stood inside and they ate of the lamb. And that shows a picture of the gospel, what Jesus done for us on the cross. He died on that cross and he saved us. And now, like how they ate of the lamb, we eat of Jesus and he lives inside of us. And how we do that is we read his word. And now Jesus lives inside of our hearts. So that story of Rahab showed a picture of Passover, which shows us a picture of the gospel, which I think is like the coolest thing. So after that, we learned that God talked to Joshua, and he was holding a big sword, and he told Joshua that he is the commander of the army and he is on their side, right? Remember we learned that?
Yeah.
So God told Joshua that he's on their side and like he's going to take care of them. They could believe him, you know, they could trust him because God was the one that was taking care of them, which I think is really cool. And then after that, we learned that because God was on their side and they believed him and God told them what to do, they marched around Jericho, the walls. They marched around and the priests blew the trumpets. And on the 7th day, all the people shouted. And when they shouted and they marched around, these walls of Jericho came tumbling down. And that's what we're coloring today. We're coloring the walls that came tumbling down when they was marching around.
March, march, march.
That's right.
And then they blew the trumpet?
Yeah, they blew the trumpet and they marched around and they shouted and these buildings came tumbling down to the ground. And it's all because they trusted God. Because if we think about it, kids, picture this. Picture all the Israelites walking around, marching around, the priests blowing the trumpets, right? And then boom, all these buildings just come tumbling down all on their own. And we know that was because of God. And we know God is all powerful. And they truly, truly believed in God. And when they believed in God, when they trusted him and believed what he said, and they listened to him and marching around, these buildings, they came tumbling down. They was able to get into the promised land that God promised them.
Well, everything was good.
Yeah, everything was good. And it's all because of God. So from these stories, we could learn that we got to believe God even when things look scary. Because we're a part of God's family, right? We've been learning our memory verse that tells us that we're a part of God's special family. And now we get all these promises too. So we are to believe God even when things look scary. Like I'm sure for Joshua, sometimes, you know, it might have looked a little bit scary. They was in the wilderness and they had no food and no water, right? And this is back when Moses was in charge. So because they had no food and no water, God had a rock of water that would follow them around. And he had food rain down from the sky because he takes care of his family. And this is the God that lives inside of us. We have him inside of us now. So we could believe him, kids, that no matter how scary things look or how scared we are or whatever, if we're sad, that God is still the boss and he's still in charge and he's going to take care of us no matter what. So from this story, we can really see that God is the one that takes care of his family and that we are to believe God. And even when if we can't believe God, because sometimes if we might get like a little bit too scared or we have a hard time believing him, you know, that's okay. But in order to help us to believe God more, we could read our Bibles, we could pray, we could sing praise music to him and come to Sunday school, you know, because he is his word, kids. So when we read his word every day, it's like reading that manna that was rained down in the wilderness. Picture that bread that fell down, that manna in the wilderness, because it looked like little pieces of bread, right? So when it fell down and they ate it, that's like us reading our Bibles. And it makes them strong and they can walk because they ate their food. You know, when you're really, really tired and once you eat something, you have some energy, right? You could run around and play some more once you eat. It's the same thing with this. We are to eat of the word every day to keep going and keep on believing God. And this story really shows God's power.
So if I eat the Bible, I'll get energy?
We get energy to believe God. When we eat the Bible every day, it gives us energy to believe him. It helps us to believe and trust him because he is a God that cannot lie. He can't lie. He's our family. He's our God. He's our Father, and he does not lie. So for us
but not really eat it, right? Just read it?
Yeah, when we read it. Watch, I'll show you. We get our Bibles, and we open it up, and we actually read it. If we can't read, it's okay. We can have our mom or our dad read to us. And we read our Bibles every day, and that's like us eating the manna. It's like us eating the bread in the wilderness. It's it's the same thing. It gives us energy to believe God because the Bible is everything that we need.
So it makes you stronger.
It makes you stronger, yes.
We need to read our Bibles every day, kids.
Yeah, it's really, really important. And by us reading our Bibles, we get to see all the promises of God that are promised to us.
So it's like when you eat carrots and celery and broccoli and chicken and some good fruit. Makes you strong. When you eat what makes you strong.
Exactly.
That's really good.
That's cool, huh? Really important. And I know I'm really excited to see everybody's crafts. Make sure you take a picture of them and post them on Kids Corner for us to see.
So Joshua, when he fought that battle down there at Jericho, God was with him?
Yeah, God was with him.
And was Joshua part of God's special family?
He sure was.
So he belonged to Jesus?
Yes, he belonged to Jesus, so he got his promises of his family. Just like us.
What?
All right, kids, here's my picture. See, we got Joshua and Rahab, and here's all the buildings that came tumbling down when they trusted God and marched around him. And here's our memory verse, Galatians 3:29.
Galatians 3:29.
Make sure you add your memory verse on there.
When you belong to Jesus, you get his promises of his family.
Amen.
Here's my picture, teacher.
Wow, good job, Joy. That looks great.
Well, thank you. See Rahab?
Oh, she got the rope in her hand.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so awesome. Good job. Well, kids, that's all for today. I had a lot of fun with you. And remember to practice your memory verse. And remember that we could always trust and believe God. And come back next week. And don't forget to stay and watch. Sing along with Joy.
Bye, kids. I'll see y'all
Bye,
at
kids.
Sing Along.
We love you.
Howdy, y'all. Welcome to Sing Along with Joy. Stand up now and clap your hands. This is what happened after those spies went into Jericho. Just fought the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Just fought the battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down. You may talk about your men of Gideon, you may talk about your men of Saul, but there's none like good old Joshua at the battle of Jericho. Josh fought the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Josh fought the battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down. Right up to the walls of Jericho, they marched with spirit. Go forth and brand for Joshua, 'cause the battle is in my hand. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down. Then the lamb and sheep horns began to blow, and the trumpets began to sound. Joshua told the children to shout that morning, the walls came tumbling down. Battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down. Walls came tumbling down, and the walls came tumbling down. All right, bye-bye. Work on your memory verse.